My plan for this new consulting business, I didn't want to have like a business, so to speak. My original plan was get a few clients, make a few YouTube videos to get those clients, make 30, 40, 50k a month with no ads, no team. Because after the old company, man, that was a grind. And I wanted the opposite. I just wanted to chill.
Now you're building your business a lot leaner. Is your number one focus, I want to have a lean team? Is it because of profit margin? Or is it because you don't want the strain of lifting so many people up and guiding so many people?
I would say profit, freedom, and fun. I learned a lot from my last business. I didn't really know what I was doing. And all of a sudden, we went from a 90% profit margin to almost a 30% profit margin. I learned that I hate having that many people to manage. I hate doing the meetings. It was hard to sleep sometimes, spending 6k a day on ads. Now I'm just doing the opposite. So everything I did wrong in that last business, I'm just doing right in this business.
This industry, specifically in the high-tech industry and info, how did you steer through actually getting through those barriers before selling it?
It can be done, it's just harder.
What would be the potential negatives?
The potential negatives would be...
Hello, today I'm with William Brown, and today we're going to be speaking about how he's been building his business, what led to his big boom on YouTube, how he's now leading his business differently to his previous business, what kind of leadership qualities you need to have, how he's currently managing his sales team, and how he's planning on growing his business in a very mission-driven business, and how he's going to change the industry. And I think you're really going to enjoy the podcast. Listen along.
Nice. Dude, that went too fast. That went too fast, that session. I want to go for longer. I want to carry on.
Well, you want to go for a coffee?
I don't have the time today. Mate.
It was nice.
Oh,
that was really good. Thank you.
It was fun.
It's hard to go deep on one topic. So like sometimes you have to stay broad on like multiple things. Yeah. And but for me, we want to deep dive into like one topic on like one area. But really to make the podcast, because my YouTube channel is small, and in the beginning, it has to be broad to see what retention, what mark is it on that video that people are really listening to. So like we're still in that phase where I think I want to lead way more around leadership and that sales specific management because there is no one who does it on that level. So like that's the route that we're going down. But right now when we're speaking to people, we are touching upon many parts of the conversation. So hopefully you enjoy it as well because I really respect your time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, should we stay here?
Okay, let's go, guys.
Let's go.
Thank you. So, Will, was it earlier this year in February where you had this massive growth on your YouTube channel, your new YouTube channel?
It actually started last December. So in fact, it started last September when I sold my company. The day that I got the wire, I made just a raw, unfiltered or unedited video. I uploaded it, and that was the first kind of big video that I ever had that's got about 110k views now. And then I had another in December and another in January, and then all hell broke loose. It was insane.
And the energy in that video was like, you not really doing a hook. You're not coming in with a framing and just talking. And I sat and me and Alex watched that video because we actually looked at your YouTube channel. This is 4 or 5 months ago and said, why has this channel worked? What has worked? Because we're trying to figure ours out. We've not massively seen good growth on our YouTube yet. And we watched your video and he was like, what positives are there? And we saw the Dubai skyline. We saw the gold watch. We saw you're not really trying. And then I thought the thing that's worked is, obviously the title of the video was great. So there is something there that did really well. And I think you used Reddit for knowing your titling. But I also thought when you actually were speaking, it was like, you can tell you don't need it. And you tell you don't care. And everyone in direct response marketing is like, please click and buy right now. I need you to click this thing because if you don't click it, you won't get this. And there's almost a threat, underlying threat inside all direct response marketing.
Yeah.
And I think because yours didn't have it, and then the other thing was the social proof was really strong because you said, here you can go on Forbes, this has been published here, and you can check this out. And I think the combining you not needing it with social proof and the skyline is what worked. What do you think? Why did it work?
Yeah, I think it's a multitude of things, right? Now, when I first started the channel, if you go back to my first 4 or 5 or 6 videos, they are highly edited. There's 2 cameras, there's B-roll and stuff. And when I started that channel, I just copied what I thought worked, right? And I would have actually carried on doing that if it wasn't for a little kind of, not a mistake, but something that happened. So the day that I got the wire from selling the company, I just thought, oh, I should make a video today, but I didn't have my cameras set up. I didn't have the time. The light was going to go down at whatever time. So I thought, right, if I don't make this video now, it's going to be inauthentic to do it tomorrow. And it's just not going to be the same. So I thought, right, let me just go in the office right now. I ordered a coffee, went in there, used my built-in iMac camera, press record. And I was just like, I'm just going to talk. So I just got my coffee, press record, and just talked, and then stopped and uploaded. And that was my first big video. And I was like, oh, wow. You know, not using the cameras, not doing any editing, does better. I was like, right, let me try this again. And then I made the 10K a month video, and that was my biggest video ever. And it worked again. I was like, oh my God, this is insane. This is not right. It's too easy, you know. And then I made another one. I think it was the step-by-step how I made 16.4 mil one. And again, 300K views or something. I was like, right, well, this is what I'm going to keep doing then, you know. So it was kind of a happy accident in a way.
And the thing about when you grow YouTube, it can take over your life sometimes if you're doing it full time. So when you're doing it full time, you can think, right, I'm doing the ideation, I'm doing the thumbnails, I'm doing everything perfect. But then before you know it, the scripting, the videoing, it can take 10 to 15 hours per week if you're doing one great video. Yeah. And then some people can even max it out to even more. But with the way your videos are coming up, are you putting that much of heavy lifting into the background of it? Or is it just, are you scripting it or are you just turning up?
Yeah, see, this is the thing, right? My plan for this new consulting business was not to, I didn't want to have a team. I didn't want to have like a business, so to speak. I just wanted to, my original plan was get a few clients, make a few YouTube videos to get those clients, make 30, 40, 50K a month with no ads, no team, and just more enjoy life for a while. Because after the old company, man, that was a grind. Like that was a mission to grow that bloody business. And I wanted the opposite. I just wanted to chill, really. And when the YouTube blew up, I was kind of forced then to take it a lot more seriously. And then I had to hire reps, I had to get an assistant, I had to do some other things with the programs that we can talk about later. But to come back to this whole thing, what I'm trying to say is I didn't need it, and I still don't need it, and I don't really care, right? So if the YouTube died, well, that would actually in some ways be better, because then I could just chill and enjoy life and not have so many clients. And when it comes to the question you just asked about YouTube, man, if I had to do that, script videos, spend 15 hours doing a script and have a thumbnail designers and plan the videos and edit the videos, my God, I wouldn't even do it. I wouldn't even do it. It's not worth it to me. You know, so if I had to do that, I wouldn't do YouTube. I'd quit. You know, so the only reason that I do YouTube is because it's so easy, right? For me anyway. And when it comes to the videos, the first thing I do is think of the title. So I spend a lot of my time thinking about the title first. Then when I've got the title, I set a day aside to make a couple of videos, usually a Saturday or a Sunday. And I'll have one or two titles for the one or two videos that I want to make. And then I just leave them in my head. And I'm just thinking for a few days, like, right, what am I going to talk about? In what order? And then I just, when I feel ready, I get a coffee, sit down, press record, talk, stop, upload.
Very nice.
So,
I love that.
Simple.
And then now you're building your business a lot leaner. So you're leaner in the amount of people within your business.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about more about the revenue that you're making, but now you've set a goal to even grow this business. So is your number one focus, I want to have a lean team? And why is it that you want to have a lean team? Is it because of profit margin? Or is it because you don't want the strain of lifting so many people up and guiding so many people?
Yeah, I would say profit, freedom, and fun, right? So I learned a lot from my last business, and it was more, I didn't really know what I was doing. I could just really bootstrap that business. And all of a sudden, we went from a 90% profit margin to almost a 30% profit margin. I just got way too many team members. We had 18 members of staff. It was all paid ads driven. And I learned that I hate having that many people to manage. I hate doing the meetings. It was hard to sleep sometimes, spending 6K a day on ads. And now I'm just doing the opposite. So I hated the ads. So now I barely run any ads. I hated the massive team. So now I've got a tiny team. I hated not having organic to kind of because it just creates so much more trust and ease. So now I do pretty much all organic, right? So everything I did wrong in that last business, I'm just doing right in this business. And I've learned what I like and don't like, you know, so I hate having a team, like a massive team. I hate meetings, bloody hate meetings, and ramping and training, and God, it's just a bloody nightmare. So, but profit is the real reason, because the reason we do business is profit.
Yeah.
You know, so all eyes for me are on profit. Last month we did 466k cash collected US with it's about 417k net profit, right? Man, in my old business it would have been 466k cash, 100k profit or something, you know. So
Yeah.
I've just learned my lessons now.
And now when you're making this money and you're a lot more profitable, are you now thinking, right, I really want to grow? How, like, because previously when you did your first business, before you sold it, there was a time where you were highly aggressive in growing the business. Although you weren't enjoying it, but you kept pushing. So now, do you still have that same aggression behind you? Or is it more like, if it works, it works?
No aggression at all, man. Yeah, that's one big thing that's changed. Because in that last business, it was all about, you know, getting rich, building wealth, acquiring assets, and just getting freedom, really. And then when I got that freedom, well, then it really chilled me out. You know, it was like, man, when I sold that business and I bought this apartment with cash that I'd been waiting to buy, man, it was just like the switch was over here on like anxious, worry, panic, make money mode. Then it flicked off to just enjoy, you know, and just kind of chill mode. And it's a great feeling, man.
There's a mind of many entrepreneurs where they sell their business and instantly they have a slump. So it's known where, now what? Because normally entrepreneurs have some sort of ADHD or something internal where some things, what do you say, not normal, but abnormal. But that same thing pushes them to do something greater or something different the next time. Did you have like a slump after you sold your business? Or did you have like this aggression, this thing I need to put my energy in? Because now you're saying you're doing it quite relaxed. So it seems not the norm for many entrepreneurs.
Well, this is something that one of my... so I had a mentor that mentored me through the exit, a guy called Dan Bradbury. And he actually told me this in advance. He was like, listen, make sure you've got something that you're going to go and do next, or else you'll get depressed, you'll get lost, you'll waste the money. But one of the reasons I wanted to sell that business was as an accolade to go and do the business coaching. Because I was doing it a little bit already at a very, very, very small scale. And I just realized, man, I love doing this. It's so much easier. It's so much more fun than this business. And if I can sell this business to a good buyer for a good amount, I can use that accolade to go and get more clients and have even more fun and so on and so forth. So selling the business was to actually fuel this next thing as well. That was one of the reasons.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And just about selling the business, many times within info space or within businesses built off a personal brand, it's hard to sell them because they have a key man risk. And they also, it's so many other reasons that they have which make this industry, specifically in the high ticket industry and info, harder to sell businesses because they lack enterprise value and the multiple isn't as high. So how did you steer through actually getting through those barriers before selling it?
Yeah, for sure. Well, it can be done. It's just harder, right? And I'll never forget, I was at a mastermind and the owner of the mastermind said to me one day, we were having lunch, and he just randomly said to me, so, Will, when are you going to sell your business? And I said, I can't. It's an online course business. It's attached to my name. You can't sell these businesses. And he said, well, yes, you can. The only difference is the buyer and the price. So if it's attached to your name and there's key man risk and it's terrible, you can still sell it. You'll just sell it for a tiny amount of money to a shit buyer, right? Or if you build it well, you build it properly, you'll sell it for a lot more money to a better buyer. And that really set me off because that planted the seed. Right, well, I can sell this, so I will try and sell it in the future. And that was about 2.5 years before I sold. But the way that I prepared was, number one, I was quite lucky because it was a faceless business, right? It was named after me, but I never showed my face for 7 years in that business. So all the ads were my voice, all the YouTube videos were my voice.
Okay.
But all the social media was just the company logo. So there was no face, which gave me a big edge. It was still, it's still it was all me, But that really helped. And also I'd fully removed myself as well. So by the end of that company, we had a sales team manager fully managing the team. We had a coaching team managed by basically the head coach. We had a self-sustaining support department. The ads were really, really nice and profitable. And we'd never had a losing month on ads ever. Like we never had a single losing month. And that track record really helped with selling because it gave the buyers peace of mind as well. And yeah, I just got it as ready as I could. And then my mentor helped me get an M&A advisor. An M&A advisor found the buyer and we exited. So
Very amazing. And with Dan, is the main thing that you learned financial literacy?
I'd say two things: financial literacy and the fact that I could sell the business. Because if he wouldn't have said that to me, I might never have sold. So it's funny, these little mini conversations that you have can change everything.
That's incredible.
You know.
And with that business, because you mentioned the sales team and everything that we do is sales, like we live and breathe sales, sales management, sales leadership. When you put a sales manager in place, when you were building that team from the beginning, maybe you started with 1 closers, 2 closers, setters, and then you put a manager in. How did you go about that process? And then now you're doing it the second time, how are you doing it differently?
For sure. So I did it in a weird and very wrong way in that first company. So I remember my childhood best friend, when we left university, I went to do music. He moved to London to do, he started like a corporate industrial cleaning company where he would clean train stations and supermarkets and stuff. And he learned to sell. And then, man, it was like year 2 or 3 of that business. And he came up to my apartment in Manchester. This was just before I moved to Dubai. And I was saying to him, I'm stopping doing a webinar. I'm going to do this thing called a VSL, and we're going to take sales calls. And he was like, I could help you with the calls if you like. I was like, you're hired. So I moved to Dubai and we turned on the VSL and it was me and him doing calls. Man, we were fucking crushing, man. Our close rate was disgustingly high.
What year was this?
This was May, June 2021.
Okay.
Right.
Nice.
And we moved from a fake live webinar with a 2K product to a VSL and a sales call with a 4K product. And yeah, it just could not have worked better. We were making so much money, closing so many deals. And then, man, it gets worse. So then I needed my first rep. And I tried to hire my brother's girlfriend who'd never done sales in her life. This probably the number 1 most stupid hire that I've ever made. She couldn't close a fucking door. All right. She actually, by day 6, 7, 8, she was crying because it was just so bad. So that taught me, I just didn't have a clue back then. So then I think I went to, who did we hire third? We hired her. Then I think I went to Cole Gordon after that. And I think Cole gave me our next, in fact, all of our future reps. We always hired from Cole after that. A lot of shit hires from Cole, I'm not going to lie, but some rock stars in there as well. You know, they were hard to find, but some rock stars in there as well. And again, I didn't have a clue how to hire or ramp or manage or train. And my childhood best friend, Alex, who was the best rep ever, like no one ever closed as well as him ever. He became the sales team manager after our 3rd hire or something like that, because he really wanted more control. He didn't just want to be a sales rep, you know, he wanted to ascend. And then Alex was the sales team manager for forevermore, essentially. So from about 2022, we started hiring from Cole Gordon, and then Alex became the sales team manager, and things were good then. You know, we were nice and profitable, and things were fine. But I actually always regretted taking Alex off closing, because we never had a closer that was ever as good at closing as him. So in the short term, and maybe in the long term, we actually damaged. Yeah, in my opinion, he was a better rep than a manager, but whatever. And how have things changed now? Well, man, like, I will not hire someone unless they've got a track record, unless they can give me call recordings, unless they've got the most solid proof that they're good. They ain't coming on my bloody team. And I just don't hire. I mean, I used to hire fast and fire slow. Now I hire slow and fire fast, you know, so I've learned my lesson.
I like the saying, hire fast, hire fast, fire faster, promote fastest.
That's a good phrase.
And you mentioned how you put a sales manager in place. It was Alex, and he was a way better leader than a way better sales rep. No, he was a way better rep than leader. And usually we find this because of a type A personality. So in sales, you have type A personalities that are great at closing. They're not the best team players. They can cause havoc. They don't put the best CRM notes on, but they just close the deals. And then when they become managers and leaders, they actually were type A personality, so they don't really have that softer ability to empathize with others. They don't have that team mentality. They don't have collaborative leadership qualities, so they lack the ability to build a team. But most business owners, what they do is they just promote their best sales rep into a manager, which is not the traits of a good manager. So is that something that you actually did? Because that is commonly what happens.
Yeah, it's just, it made sense to me. If you're very good at closing, surely you can help other people be good at closing.
Yeah.
But management is tough, man. Management is really tough. And when I sold the company, a few weeks after, because the owner of the PE firm, he is a data guy, let's just say that. And he showed me all the data from when Alex became a sales team manager. The cumulative close rate of the whole team never really changed. You know, like all reps factored in, it was always about 24% forever. You know, so.
If you think about a football manager, they're never good football people. They're not the A players, but they make great leaders because they have other skills. And those other skills don't make them the amazing player, they make them an amazing team player. And it's the same in business. And now you're set up with your closers. What's that setup like now? Because you were asking me a question earlier on. I'd love to dissect your current sales team.
Yeah, well, man, I mean, I've either been very skilled or very lucky. I think it's more luck. The two closers that I've got right now are just rock star, amazing, bloody A players. I'm very, very thankful to have them. And that's it. So our team structure right now is 2 closers, 2 setters, me and a virtual assistant right now. So hyper lean, and technically 2 contractors, a copywriter contractor and a media buyer contractor. But we're at the stage now where I know that we could push a bit further, get more calls, get a 3rd rep, and maybe scale a bit further. But it's just, I'm trying to make the decision right now. Do I want the mess of hiring another rep, ramping them, looking after them, training them, hoping they're fucking good? If they're not, I've got to fire them. I'm just trying to decide.
Should we make the decision now? Should we go through it?
Oh, okay. Okay, go on then.
Okay, so what would be the negative if you hired another rep? What would be the potential negatives?
The potential negatives would be, so I would say the main thing that not annoys me, but is a thing to keep an eye on is the sales team. So for example, you know, I got an email on Friday. Hey, Will, your rep is not on the call right now. I was really excited about this call. I've been waiting all week. I'm ready to buy. I'm like, oh, you fucking motherfucker. So I go in the WhatsApp and I'm like, right, dude, why are you not on this call? He was like, I was running over, and then I was like, why didn't you double dial him and get him on? He was like, I didn't think he'd answer. Like, what? It's just stupid, man. And, you know, then it's like, oh, Will, I'm trying to close this guy. You know, can you get on a call with him? And can we do this? Can we do that? Like, the main source of my mini problems, they're not big problems, but just mini problems, are the sales reps, right? And these are bloody good sales reps as well. So if I hire a 3rd, I feel like it's just going to be a bit more. You know, so one of my mentors once said to me, when you scale the good and you scale the bad. So if there's any bad, you'll have more. And if there's any good, you'll have more. And it's just management, really. It's just the messages, the communication. I'm going to have to do meetings. I'm going to have to train them and ramp them and help them. And I'm just like, is it worth it? You know?
In your position, because you have a choice where you can hire a 3rd person, but also you're trying to keep as lean as possible, what you could do is one of the sales reps who shows a quality of potentially leading, but not there yet. He's not a sales manager. So we call these people like a sales lead, but a sales manager in development. So we tell them, hey, I see potential in you. I think that you could be a sales manager. Do you think you would be ready? And they would say, yes, Because commonly, salespeople just think it's easy. Managers, they just want the title. And you'd say, I think that you need to be able to learn all of these things, and you list them out, 5 to 10 things. If you can do these things, would you be interested in maybe working towards a manager if you can develop these things? For you to develop these things, we may now pay you an extra $500 a month, or we could give you an extra team bonus if the team grows month on month. So if you was to hit the goal of 450, 500, I would then reward you with this, but you have to be able to put in additional time to learn this. And this is only worth it because you're going to be earning maybe an additional commission, but you are now leading 2 meetings a month, 2 sales meetings a week. So I'm not going to be on those ones. So they're solely for you. And you're also going to be taking lead on the setters, and you'll be looking at acquisition data and also looking at becoming that middle person between the media buyer and me. And if you can do those things over the next 6 months and you can hit these things, you'll become a manager, you'll get a base rate of 3 to 5K, and your commission will be team-based. Because by doing that, you've now painted the picture, and he will buy into, okay, I will do those things, I will prove my worth, I can get that role, and you build that progression path and he becomes a sales lead. So that's commonly how it is done with a business not wanting to hire a sales manager. Don't know if that would work at yours.
It sounds like a lot of work. And also, I think that added layer of complexity might affect their closing as well. Because then they're...
Yeah, that's why we call it a sales lead, because we also tell them, if it affects your closing, you're off. So because the type of person who wants to do it, the type A personality, is like, no, I won't let it fail. But we'll say, if you have a month where your sales rate drops, and what this does is it pushes them to keep their sales rate higher.
That's good.
You tend to find that, because lagging and leading indicators, you combine them both. So you're like, if you're going to do this, you also need to do this. And then that's like, but also the other thing is, you said it sounds like a lot of work. And I can tell you want to have a very chill business.
Yeah, I do.
But then I would also say on the other side, if you're wanting to make hundreds of thousands more than you are now, there's probably an element of like a little bit of a headache you have to be willing to endure.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like, I know that I could scale this thing.
Yeah.
You know, I know that I could take this further. Also, I mean, I coach people one-to-one for the most part, so that's something to be aware of as well, because I can't take on endless clients, which is actually one of our edges, because I'm one of the only people that still coach people one-to-one. So I kind of want to keep that, and it's just, I don't know, I'm pretty bloody happy, man, right now. So I think I'll put this decision off for the minute.
Well, there's no better answer than I'm happy right now.
Well,
if you're happy right now, then no one can tell you anything. No, they say very sharp. No one can tell you dick if you're happy right now. No one can tell you anything. So, and then your leadership skills. When you think about becoming a leader, do you think about like, how can I become a better leader, or how you can develop others within your business? Because we think about businesses growing not in terms of the ambition of the founder alone, but in how you lift others within the business.
There is an element of that, and I remember having this conversation with the 2 reps, because I hired them both at one time. And one thing that is very important to me is that everybody has the same feeling that I do, of like love for the business and love for what we do. And we have a mission statement: make money, have fun, and help people, right? So when I sold my last business, just when the YouTube was blowing up, actually, I remember I was walking around my apartment just thinking, why am I doing this again? You know, I'm about to build another bloody company. Why don't I just chill? Why don't I just go to Bali and stop? And I remember thinking, well, I want to make more money because I want to build more wealth. But I've got to bloody have fun this time, or else I'm just going to frigging kill myself. So it's got to be fun, right? I've got to love what I'm doing. And I've got to help people, because if I'm not helping people, I'm not going to feel good. I'm not going to enjoy it. And none of it is going to be worth it. And I wrote it down. I was like, right, make money, have fun, and help people. I was like, right, well, that's the mission statement. I'm going to try and stay inside that. And I share that with everybody that's a part of the team. And we always talk about it in the chat, all the different elements of it. And for me, it's helping the team do that as well. It's allowing, let's take the reps. It's allowing the reps to make a great income, because they're very well paid, in my opinion. They have fun doing it. It's not particularly hard, and it's fun. And we know that we're helping people as well, especially when the testimonials come in. You know, you're interviewing Shako, who I took from about 5K to almost 80K now through working together. So those are the realms that I try and stay within.
Yeah, you've done a great job with him, great job with the knitting lady, great job with many others I know of, and many others have said it. And like when you're working with someone one-to-one, what's the process? Do you have your set criteria where you're thinking this is systematically how I build it? Because you have a system, a mechanism that you work with them on. How are you working with people on one-to-one? What does it look like?
Yeah, so when people come in, I ask them to watch the training program first. So they go through the training material. Usually takes them 5, 6, 7 days. Then they book the first one-to-one, and I call it a blueprint call. I get them to fill out this big document where I can just see the elements of the business. You know, what's going on with the traffic? What's the sales process? What's the conversion? What's the value? What's the pricing? What are the unit economics? And when people show me that blueprint, I can just instantly see what's right and wrong. And I'm like, right, this is wrong. Let's fix that first. Then we'll do this. Then we'll do that. And I usually just send them away and I'm like, right, go and do that. Book a call with me on Thursday when it's done. And then on Thursday, right, that's done. Oh, no, I need help. And we just fix it one step by step, essentially. And they just book in calls with me when they need me. They've got my WhatsApp, and I just hold their hand, look over their shoulder, answer the questions. You could even call it fractional, almost, where I'm kind of like, it's really me in the trenches with them, which is great. So.
And you're working with them. And now the video about the knitting lady, you said you've been asked about this quite a lot. And I think the main thing, because when I watched it on YouTube, the main thing that I took away was, you can now sell anything online, any type of information that's useful to others. So where do you see like info going? You know, the info space now. Do you think, because education online within America has taken a 30% hit. So there's 30% reduction in formal education. So it's gone from like, I think in the trillions to, it's like X amount of billion put into education every year. In academic education. It had a 30% drop for the year on year for the last 3 years. But there's also been a 30% increase in self-funded education year on year. So it's directly correlated to the money within the flow of the system on how one is going down, one is going up. So when you're building other businesses, those businesses will sell other education, and that's why the industry as a whole is growing. But the high-ticket industry is actually a small industry. It's not enterprise level, it's not massive, but it grows with good people and good leaders in place, and the whole industry gets spearheaded with great people. And this is why I commend you for your work, because you're doing a good job. So this is why I'd probably want to encourage you to actually go even further, because you're like very chilled with it. But I think about education very differently, because I think about how the education system let me down, but also I didn't try. It was a combination of things. They didn't engage me. Therefore, I didn't try.
Yeah.
Don't know if you can relate. Maybe you were a A-star student.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And like when I'm now thinking about the change and the difference I can make, which is specifically in sales and helping people have this opportunity with their businesses, do you think about it in a bigger way, in like a mission? Because you mentioned your mission is like more having fun, helping people and make money. Yeah. Is that linked to a deeper value or anything, principles that you have?
It definitely is. And I've been thinking about this again recently as well. Why am I doing this? You know, because this sounds quite crude, but like I've got more than enough money to last forever, right? If I never made any more, I'd be completely fine. And with that comes this blessing of, well, why are you doing what you're doing then? If you don't have to work and make money, why work? And for me, it is a deeper purpose, because I've loved making videos since I was very young. I used to make skateboard videos, and I would film them and edit them and design the artwork. Your
knees look a bit too clean for skates. Where are the scars?
I swear to God. So I got into making videos and media then.
Yeah.
Then I made graffiti videos when I was into graffiti. I made music videos when I was into music. So I've made videos my whole life, and I love making the videos just for the video's sake. I like sharing stuff and inspiring people and seeing the nice comments and stuff. And I feel like that's very valuable for people, and it's making the world a better place by helping people with this stuff. And they get to make great businesses, and their clients get to have these breakthroughs. So it's positive for the world. So I feel like my YouTube is positive for the world. And I feel like, again, what we do is we enable experts, talented people who love what they do, who've worked hard to learn it, to share it with the world, right? And I think over the last few years, people have started to realize, you know, school, the purpose behind school is to make you a worker. It's not to make you rich. It's not to make you an entrepreneur. You're purposely, people always say, why is money not taught in school? Because they don't want you to know about how to make money, because then you'd go and be an entrepreneur and that would damage, there'd be less workers. And as people realize that, I think that's a reflection of what you just said. Right, people are not learning that, so they're kind of not caring about education as much, traditional education. And that's opening the door for real experts who actually do what they teach you can go to the source now. So if you want to learn sales now, rather than going to university or college, you can go to like a lifelong sales professional who's in the trenches, who lives and breathes it, and work with you. That's the best thing in the bloody world. That's amazing, Like if you want to learn, I don't know, communication, you can go to Shako, right? Who lives and breathes it. That's his whole life. And I think that's why this is going up, because it can't get more valuable than being able to select an expert that you love and trust and want to learn from, and being able to buy from them. That's the best thing in the world. And what I do empowers that. I help these experts to make it a business, make it a successful business, and grow it. So I am conscious of that. And that's what just makes it worthwhile.
I love that. In any sales team growth, we look at the bottom, the main component at the base of the pyramid being the mission and the vision and the values of the business owner and how that goes into the business. Because let's say a sales rep is late by 10 minutes to a meeting. It's very easy just to say, why are you late? But it's the right thing to say here is, hey, our mission is this. We're trying to change the education system. We're trying to do this. How are we supposed to accomplish our mission if by you coming 10 minutes late? Is that aligned? And by managing people in that way towards a mission, it's far easier.
That's really, what you just said there, that's really inspired me, man. Thank you for sharing that.
That's okay, man. And we just think about business in way more of a mission-driven way, because we can really see change within people. And when I'm thinking about your business, I'm not just thinking high-ticket space, selling courses. I'm thinking about the education system and how we're reforming it in a way. And I was with Iman on Monday and Tuesday, and they were talking about their whole mission is all about reforming the education system. So obviously it's one view which we look online and say, hey man, you're just selling a course. But I see kids buying courses and benefiting and winning every single day. And I'm sure all these people that have been working with your business, and I hear great things and great testimonials, is for a reason. They're building businesses because they found another way out.
Yeah, dude, without a doubt. I think Iman he's done great things and he's doing great things. And he's one of the most focused and driven people that I've ever met, for sure. As are you as well. You've got a great energy, man. You're focused. You're taking it deadly seriously. It's really great to see, man. And one thing that I do believe in is the market is like self-sorting. So if you're not good at what you do, or you're not doing it for the right reasons, I truly believe you won't succeed. I'm a big believer in karma. But if you are doing good things and you're doing them in the right way and you genuinely care and you look after your team and your customers, you're going to win, and it's just like time. One of my mentors once said, the results are guaranteed, but time is not, right? So if you do it well enough and you do it for long enough, you're going to win. Like that's guaranteed. It's just the time is the annoying part of the bloody patience,
You're right. I do take it very serious because we're trying to be the number one in what we do. And I used to be very scared to say I want to be the number one in anything, because I grew up not taking part in sport, being a wimpy kid, and I never was someone who wanted to be the number one. But now, the more I succeed, the more self-belief I have, and then it's like a compounding. So now we're wanting to win more and more. And thank you for the nice compliment as well.
No worries, man.
So your focus is mainly to go to 600K now.
Yeah, so we've just come off. We did 424, then we did 397. Now we've just done 466. So, and it's kind of, I want to see how far we can push it before it starts to not be fun and it starts to be overwhelming, So I'm sure there will come a time where, I look at my calendar and I'm full for 3 days out and I'm like, oh no, this is not good. When that day comes, it hasn't come yet, but when that day comes where it's too overwhelming, then I'll be like, right, where are we at now? Where were we at when things were better? And I'll just try and rebalance it.
But if your mission that you mentioned, if that is fun to you, you will lead a massive team.
Well, the thing is, I don't want to stop coaching people one-to-one, because I really love the one-to-ones.
Just make your one-to-one more expensive.
That's part of the plan. That's part of the plan. Yeah, just to manage
Because then you'll
demand.
attract the right people as well. As you know this, you will suggest many others do this. Put your price up first thing.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes the best experts forget to tell themselves. There's a saying: the carpenter's door always creaks.
Yeah, so true, man. So true. Well, yeah, no, that is on my mind. I mean, I've got a plan to grow further. We're going to spend a bit more on ads because ads are crushing, man. We're so profitable on bloody ads.
How are they working? Can you tell us about the ROAS? Can you tell us like the strategy behind your book funnel on how you've done it, and then what's the ROAS that you're getting on it?
Yeah, definitely, man. So I actually wrote the book for fun. Like I said earlier, I didn't intend on this being a big company. I didn't intend on having even a team and stuff, let alone doing these numbers. I wrote the book because I was going to write that, put it out, and take some time off. But the book has just helped to pour fuel on the fire, So yeah, the book, we sell it through a standard book funnel. So we run Facebook and Instagram ads to a massive long form sales page with a VSL, loads of copy. And then you can buy the book for $12.95 with some free bonuses. Then there's a $97 bump for like a behind the scenes training. And we are about 0.2 on that. So we lose a lot of money on that. We spend $1,000, we'll make 200 back and lose 800 on the front end. On the back end, when you check out, you land on a VSL and you're encouraged to book a call. And like I was saying earlier, those calls cost us, depending on the month, about $350 to $550 pounds per call. But we close them at about 34%, again, depending on the month. And we're doing about 6.2x on the total funnel, including the front end and the back end. So I think that's hyper profitable. To spend 1,000 and make 6,200 back cash is hyper profitable. But we've only been spending a tiny bit of money. We've been spending 10, 15K a month. So
really
tiny
nice.
spend. And we're going to start spending a bit more in January just to push on the gas and see what we can do there. And that's part of the reason why I'm thinking about the third closer as well, because our calendars right now, after we did the short form thing, are pretty much full. So it's like, we're at that stage where if we want to go further, we got to get a third closer.
And I do think your book's great because when I went through the book, it's I think obviously you might say different, but I think the book is great for someone who doesn't know the components of how to do a £10 million business, because when you go through it section by section, it's like, what's the sales process? It's got like how to do this type of funnel, and it goes through different types of funnels that you can have. And there's all the components of how you could be doing this thing, which is a £10 million business. And I think if someone is at the very start of their journey, or they're making 20K a month and they're a bit lost in how to grow and the work in quotation scale, which I don't think 20K is scaling. But when they're making even 50K, I think there's elements in that book which they can look at and think, hey man, I didn't know this thing. I could be doing this towards 10 million. I think that's why the book is probably doing a good job as well.
Yeah, it just helps to build trust. I think when people read that, they know what I've been through. They know that I know what I'm talking about. They get value from it, and then they're like, right, I want one-to-one help. Then they come into the program.
Yeah.
So.
Since the history of time, every great movement has always started with a book. And I would say, like, I've heard your mission now. It's not just make money, have fun, and help people. It's even deeper, which you've like named. So I really hope that you push. And there is a moment that you get super aggressive, because I do think, like within our industry, businesses are capping out at like 25 million, 20 million. There will be some players out there that grow a 50 million business and a 100 million business in the info space, because it's a growing industry, and those people are going to be the ones that are not afraid to do something different. So I'm really excited to see your growth over the next few years.
Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you.